What do you mean she lied to you? Aura gave Bakugou a baffled look. Bakugou gripped his head in an attempt to keep calm. I mean she fucking lied to me. You yourself said Puppeteer would never let her give up their location. She was acting weird. She said she loved me, but it sounded more like she was saying goodbye. He picked up a bedside lamp and threw it at the wall before he threw his head in his hands and growled. Moments later, Kirishima was kicking the door in and rushed in. He was expecting to see some kind of fight going on, but instead all he saw was his best friend currently losing his sanity. Kirishima knelt next to the bed and placed his hands on Bakugou's shoulder. We'll get her back, I promise. Bakugou's hands reached up and found Kirishima's. I saw her and I asked her where she was, but I don't know if I believe her. It looks like we're going to need to split up after all. Puppeteer wasted no time snapping his fingers and having his goons drag you to your bed. I thought we could trust each other, Yuen. You have no idea how much it saddens me to do this. But naughty girls must be punished. You struggled against their hold, doing your best to dig at your heels in. What are you going to do to me? Puppeteer flashes a cruel smirk at you. Well, it seems you swallowed something you shouldn't have, and well, we really need to retrieve it as soon as possible. Don't worry. We have some of the best doctors here. Your eyes widened as you began to panic. No, please. I told him it was the other tracker. He thinks this one was randomly tossed from the helicopter. Puppeteer chuckled. Oh, but I think we both know he's a lot smarter than that, isn't he? Yes. I think no matter what, they will be dividing their forces to check both locations. But I think he will be coming to this one. There's a little look on his face in your little dream. He looked devastated because he knew you had deceived him. You had to think quickly. Under no circumstances could you let him put you under amnesia. Puppeteer's threats of making you a vegetable still rang in your ears. If they put you to sleep, there would be no chance that you would ever wake up again. Bakugou, in a short time you've lived together, has taught you so many basic self-defense and combat skills, but now as you whacked your brain, you were finding it hard to remember any of it. Fuck. If he doesn't kill me for lying to him, then he'll definitely beat my ass for this. Come on, think. Your eyes darted around for anything useful as they dragged you down hall after hall. You probably should have paid close attention to where you were going, but you were in full panic mode. And you need to calm your shit down. You could see that up ahead there was a plank on the floor that was slightly higher than the rest. It might not be the best plan, but it was the only one you had. You knew Puppeteer's quirk had a time limit, but you couldn't remember the last time that he touched you. He had just used your quirk a little while ago, so the chances were pretty high that he could still control your quirk. Maybe though, if you did it fast enough, you could use it just long enough to get away. You started to truly drag your feet and let yourself go limp right as your foot caught the limp of the rising plank. It jerked you from the goon's grasp as you crashed to the floor. You tried to use your quirk to take the goo inside away, but you didn't wait to see if it worked. You scrambled to your feet and sprinted to the opposite direction. This is where it would have been handy to have paid attention to where you were going. Hey, what the fuck? You could hear Cuff behind the counter. Well, what are you doing? Go after her, you fucking idiots. Puppeteer screamed Puppeteer. You assumed that you had succeeded in taking away their sight for however long it took to get away, but you didn't want to assume it was permanent. Bakugou had once told you something about something about being an ass. You tried to be quiet as possible as you slipped into an empty room. All you needed to do was hide until Bakugou gets here. If Puppeteer was right, then she shouldn't be too long, right? So let me get this straight. She told you she was a tracker that was still moving. So that means you want to go to the corner the tracker isn't moving? Kirishima rubbed the back of his neck while he was still trying to figure out the plan. And you want the rest of us to track the other tracker? The one she said was her? But you don't think it's her? Do I have that right? Bakugou nodded as he clipped on the rest of his costume. I'm going in alone. If I have to blow the whole fucking place up, I will. I'm not bringing y'all down with me. Puppeteer can control anyone's quirk that he touches. I'm not giving him any extra pieces to his fucking game. I need to do this alone. He took a deep sigh and ran a hand through his hair in frustration. Last time I saw you could have made me kill you if you wanted to. And I wouldn't have been able to stop it. That's not happening. I'm taking you out of the equation. He walked over and did something Kirishima wasn't expecting. Bakugou gripped him in a tight hug. And if by any chance my instincts are wrong and she is where she says she is, I don't trust anyone other than you to bring her home. Kirishima closed his eyes and took a deep breath. I got you, man. I'll do everything I can to get her back, but please don't do anything stupid. And the second you confirm she's there, let me know. I know you think you need to do this alone, but I would never be able to live myself if something happened to you. Aura waited for their little bromance moment to end before she approached Bakugou and nudged him. Hey, you realize I'm going with you, right? Like there's no chance in hell you're going alone. I haven't seen my sister in almost 20 years. Puppeteer has ruined my entire life and hers. I'm going to make that fucker pay. Bakugou narrowed his eyes at her, recognizing the same stubbornness gleaming in her eyes that he had seen in yours time and time again. He immediately knew he wasn't going to win this argument. Don't make me regret this. Aura straightened her posture and squared him off. Don't make me regret letting you try it your way first. We either kill Puppeteer today, or we do it my way, and we go back in time and kill him before any of this shit even happens. Bakugou nods. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. It's not that I don't trust you, but you said it yourself, you've never used your quirk like that before. It's a huge risk. But that being said, it's worth taking it if it gets the job done. Aura stuck her hand out to shake his. Let's fucking do this. It had been over an hour now. There was no way Puppeteer's quirk was still working on you. You could potentially walk out of the house. You were terrified though. Your quirk only worked on a few people at a time. If you ran into a larger group of people, you were screwed. You couldn't sit here forever though. You had to do something. You were not some helpless damsel. You had broken out once, you could do it again. Your biggest concern right now was sound. Sure, you make them see whatever. You can edit yourself out of what they see, but you can't do anything about the sound. You slowly open the door leading back out into the hallway. At first, you didn't see anyone, so you tiptoed out. Your first step was followed by a quiet moan from the wood beneath your foot. You froze as your heart leaped into your thought. You had to remind yourself to stay calm and keep your breathing in check. The last thing you needed was to give yourself away by being a mouth-breathing idiot. When you were sure no one was coming for you, you slowly reached down and took your shoes off. You cradled them in your hands as you started to painfully slow walk down the hallway. You had made so much progress, but none at the same time. You made at least 6 turns by now, but you still had no idea where you were or how to get the fuck out. This place really needed a fucking map. Your legs grew fragile with the strain of taking slow and careful steps. You felt like you had been walking forever when you finally ran into another person. This had to be a good sign, right? With limited people here, Puppeteer would put them close to the exits, right? To keep you in and, more importantly, keep Bakugou out. There were only 3 of them. You could handle that. They were quietly muttering amongst themselves. Every so often, one of the radios would sound off as one of their comrades would reach out for an update.
No sign here. She has to still be on the premise though. None of the doors or windows have been opened. We would have heard the alarm go off.
Shit. Of course the fucking alarm system. You got a bit closer before you threw one of your shoes as hard as you could down the hallway. It made a loud noise as it knocked what looked to be a rather expensive painting off the wall. What the fuck was that? 2 of the goons left to investigate the noise while the 3rd stayed put and radioed the others.
We have some commotion on the 2nd floor. West Wing, I'll see you.
How fucking big is this place? Puppeteer's voice came out loud through the speaker on the radio. I'm coming, and I'm going to do this myself, you fucking idiots. How hard can it be to catch one fucking girl? You've been at this for hours now. You could see the goon roll his eyes, obviously annoyed with his boss. You had no sympathy for him, though. He chose this life. You could see a taser hanging from his belt. Of course, Puppeteer wouldn't want you killed, so they would use non-lethals if you could just quickly. You lunged for the taser and ripped it from his belt. His eyes went wide for a second as he put 2 and 2 together. He didn't try and fight. He just yelled at his friends. She's here! You tased him before he could do anything else and sprinted towards a set of stairs. The man had said you were on the 2nd floor, which meant you needed to get out. You practically jumped down the stairs, skipping as many as you could. Your intensity got the best of you, though, because as soon as you saw the door that led to the 1st floor, you flung it open.
guess what was on the other side? Fucking puppeteer. His hands whipped in the direction of the door that you just slammed open like a dumbass. His eyes narrowed and his lips turned into an evil smirk. You win, darling. Nice to see you finally join us. Your heart was pounding, and you just kept reminding yourself that he can't see you. You started to sidestep away from the door and to what looked like a library. You could find yourself sweating from the exhilaration of using your quirk for so long. It was rare that you ever used it for more than a few minutes at a time, and even then it wasn't very often. You threw the other shoe in the opposite direction. You wanted to go while Shun was taking away his vision completely. You expected him to get angry or to yell, but what he did was much more worse and stopped you in your tracks. He started laughing. You think I don't have any tricks in my sleeve? I have a man here whose quirk has a super strong sense of smell. Once something smells, he can track them from a mile away. Your blood ran cold. And you win, if his nose is correct, which it always is. You're only a few feet away. Now, out of nowhere, you were being grabbed from behind. How the hell had you not seen him sneak up on you? I got her. Now what? Puppeteer stalled in frustration. Bring her to me. I need to touch her so I can stop her from using her quirk. You struggled against him. This is not how this is going to end. You worked so hard to get this far. You're going to fucking leave if it was the last thing you did. Your elbow caught the man in the jaw, and his grip slightly, just enough for you to slip away temporarily. Bitch hit me! Puppeteer screamed in anger. Of course she did! I told you she wouldn't come easily. Now go get her. Sniff her out. You had only made a few yards when you were being thrown to the floor. His sense of smell led him right to you. You turned around, and with all the strength you had, left kicked him in the face, breaking his nose. Blood splattered everywhere, and the man fell forward on top of you, pinning you to the ground. You broke my fucking nose! Puppeteer ran over to you. Hold her down. Backup's coming. He reached out and touched you, and it was all over. Tears spun to your eyes as you made eye contact with the disgusting man who stopped you from using your quirk. Please, I'll behave, I'll do anything. No, please don't kill me. Puppeteer backed away as some of his goons filled into the room and surrounded you. Oh, sweet Yuan, I'm not going to kill you. I need you alive so I can utilize your quirk, but like I said before, that doesn't mean you need to be awake. Just like that, you were being yanked over someone's shoulder. You hit their back and screamed at the top of your lungs. You said a silent prayer out that Bakugou would get here before it's too late. Your throat was raw by the time you were slammed onto a very hard, uncomfortable bed. With tears in your eyes, you continued to beg to the people who were currently strapping you down to let you go. Puppeteer came and sat down in a chair next to you. My dear, you waste your breath. They only listen to me. I'm sorry it had to be this way, but you left me no choice. We need to get that track out of your stomach, and we can't have you helping that boyfriend of yours, who I'm sure who is sure to rampage through here soon enough. He reached down and took her hand. You would have pulled away, but your hand was strapped down. I'm not heartless, though, so I will at least give you the courtesy of telling you now what will become of you once we put under. He stood up and began pacing the room like a villain always did in the movies he watched with Bakugou. We will put you under anesthesia and cut you open and take out the tracker. Then, once you're all stitched up, we will administer a drug that renders you basically brain dead. It'll keep you in an endless sleep that you will never wake from. But you'll have enough brain activity left so I can use your quirk when I need it. You will only be aware when I want you to be, and you will only be able to use your quirk when I want you to. It's not much of a life, but alas, you brought this upon yourself. Your face was soaked with tears now. You couldn't stop the sobs that racked your body. Your whole body was shaking now. This was it. There was no coming back from this. You'll never get to say goodbye to Bakugou. Puppeteer signaled for the doctors to proceed. The doctor came close to you with a needle, and your heart began to race. You looked him dead in the eyes and quieter than you had been all day, you whispered, "Please." The doctor schooled his features before bringing the needle to your arm. You might feel a little pain. Then the most glorious noise you would ever heard sounded. The alarm gone off. The alarm was going off. You were here. So that must mean that someone broke in. Bakugou! Puppeteer threw his glasses against the wall before he ran his fingers through his hair. Looks like we can skip the surgery and just go straight to the brain-dead vegetable phase. The doctor spurted a bit. Sir, I don't have the necessary equipment for that here. I would have to move her upstairs. Puppeteer threw the door open. Well, why are you still here? Fucking move her. I'll take care of her brat of a boyfriend. He wasn't going to be subtle. He charged him with guns blazing and taking out every single person who got in his way. The more people he took out, the less pawns at Puppeteer's disposal. He blasted the front door right open off of the hinges. Immediately an alarm started blaring, because that wasn't annoying at all. He ran down the first hallway and saw a man sitting on the floor with blood all over his shirt. Oi, who the fuck are you? And where is you in? The man splat blood on the floor next to him. I can smell her on you. Bakugou took a calm step towards him before taking him by the hair and slamming his face into the ground. And I will break your fucking face if you don't tell me where she is. The man pointed down the hallway. They took her down that hallway. After that, I don't know this house. It's a fucking maze, man. Bakugou slammed his head into the ground again. You can fucking do better than that. His face now covered in blood. 2 lefts, then a right, and straight to the end of the hall. Bakugou smirked before standing up and giving the man a swift kick in the head, knocking him out. He looked to Aura next to him, who didn't seem fazed at all by the display of violence. Let's go. She nodded. You're going to have to do most of the heavy lifting here. I don't want to waste my energy if we have to go to Plan B. It's going to take everything I have. Bakugou stalked forward into the hallway. Works for me. I'd prefer if you stayed out of the blast zone anyways. Bakugou can only describe what happened next as a rampage of epic proportions. No one stood a chance. He fired first and didn't even bother to ask questions later. He left a trail of burnt and broken people in his wake, and he didn't feel even an ounce of remorse. He knew this wasn't healthy, the amount of anger that was pushing him right now, but he also knew he couldn't afford to let go of that anger, because once he did, all that was left was fear. Fear or failure. Fear of losing her. Fear of the unknown. He finally reached his destination after following the man's directions exactly, but the room was empty. There was a hospital bed with other straps on it, and a lot of blood smeared on the sheets. He just prayed it wasn't yours. Aura yelled from the hallway, "Bakugou, hurry! He's here!" He left the room and came face to face with Puppeteer. The disgusting man had the nerves to smile at him. "Seems you've put a real dent in my security. No matter. There's more where that came from." He looked over at Aura and his smile grew. "And would you look at that? You brought me a present." Who would have thought the secret to getting my crown jewels back was ground zero? So nice of you to personally deliver them both. Bakugou sent a huge explosion towards him, but he drove into a nearby hallway just in time. "Where is she?" Puppeteer stayed hidden around the corner. "The longer you fight me, the less time you'll have to say goodbye to her. Soon enough, there won't be anything left to say goodbye to." Bakugou sent another blast his way, letting all of his anger, his rage, his fear leak into it. But all he got in return was a chuckle. "Is that all you got, boy?" He was about to blast him again when he heard someone running up behind him. Without turning, he looked. Without turning to look, he asked Aura, "Who is it?" With a little relief in her voice, "It's Kirishima. They must have realized you were right about the other coordinate." Kirishima stepped up next to Bakugou. "Hey man, go find her. We'll take it from here." Bakugou looked around the corner Puppeteer was hiding behind. And Aura. He wanted to personally make the man suffer, but he would leave that to Aura. She deserved that much. He settled on Aura. "Make him fucking pay." She nodded. "You already know I will. Now hurry!" Bakugou took off. The guy was right. This place was really a fucking maze. He was running around kicking every single door and calling out for you. He didn't care who heard him. He'd cut them down just like he did the rest of them. He sprinted around the corner and there you were. You were simply standing there, calmly waiting for him as he approached. His hands found purchase on either side of your face as he wiped the silent tears that now slid down your face. You found me." He leaned his forehead against yours. "Of course I did. I told you I'd protect you." You smile as you ran your fingers through your hair. "We need to go." You took his hand and led him down the hallway to the rest of the stairs. When you started to go up, he pulled back. "Where are you going?" More silent tears slid down your face. "I need to show you something before I go." Bakugou gave you a concerned look. "You wanted me to get out of here, but you're still on the loose." You nodded. "I understand, but this is really important." You led him up the stairs and down a few halls, and to a room. He opened the door of the room that led him inside. bed looked like a hospital bed, but it was empty. There was a weird beeping noise, but he couldn't find where it was coming from. "UN, what is going on? What was so important that you needed to show me?" You didn't answer him, but instead you reached up on your tippy toes and gave him a passionate kiss. "I love you, Bakugou. I love you so much. You taught me what it was like to truly live life, trust wholly, and love deeply, and I'm so thankful for that." "You, and why are you talking like that? I love you too, but you already know that you're making me nervous." You gave him a sad smile. "It's getting harder to focus, so I need to do this quickly. Bakugou, Puppeteer did something to me. I'm not really alive anymore." Bakugou grew cold as his hands clutched you. "What the fuck do you mean you're not alive? You're standing right in front of me. I can see you, I can feel you." You wiped a tear from your cheek. "My body's still alive, my heart is still pumping, but that's all he needs to use my quirk. My brain, it's shutting down as we speak. You're not really holding me. I'm just in your head." Bakugou fell to his knees and his heart began to pound. In his eyes. "No, it's not supposed to end this way." You sat down next to him and pulled him to your chest and let him sob. "It's going to be okay. You're going to make it through this. I need you to do that for me, understand? You can't give up. You have to promise me." Bakugou picked his head up and saw that stubborn expression in your eyes that he had seen in Aura's earlier that day. "You have an older sister. She's here. She came to free you." You pushed your head through his hair. "It would have been nice to meet her, but right now, all I care about is you." She kissed his forehead. "I'm losing my grip, Bakugou. I know it's a lot to ask, but can you stay with me?" It was his turn, holding you while he kissed your forehead over and over again. He rocked you back and forth. "You can't leave me, please." You held back your tears as you cupped his cheek. "Remember when you teach me how to ride a bike? And you said you would never let go, not until I was ready? Well, I'm telling you, you need to let go. It's time." You gave him one last kiss. "I love you." When Bakugou opened his eyes, you weren't there anymore. He looked up and he saw you strapped to the bed, hooked up to a monitor. Your heart was still beating. You were still alive, but you were gone. He was completely numb as he gently began undoing the straps. As he took your hand in his, it was his fault. If he didn't think it would get any worse, but Aura stepped up next to him. He hadn't heard her come in. She had been there for quite some time, and it didn't take long for her to figure out what happened. She put a hand on his shoulder. He got away. Looks like it's time for Plan B. Do you think you're ready? Bakugou took a deep breath and wiped his cheeks. Let's go kill the fucking son of a bitch. I was on the verge of crying. Actually, I'm not that emotional. It's just how I had to express it had me in tears, because I had to express the working of the characters and the situations. Oh my god, it almost had me in tears. I hope I'm not gonna make any of you guys cry. I was like, yeah, the series is almost over. I'm not crying, you're crying. This is probably gonna be the longest recording I've ever done, because like it took a lot of expressions, pauses, and feelings, so yeah, hope you have an amazing day. Hope I didn't make you cry a little too much. I'm trying real hard here. I hope you all find a reason to stick around on my channel even after I'm gonna make this visual home is done, because it's gonna be done next episode. I really hope you guys all stick around for my content, and I'm trying my hardest to up my quality in my content, like have better thumbnails, better quality music, teaching myself, you know, better recording techniques, and just recording better in general. So if you guys like this recording compared to like my older ones, tell me about it, because like I've been really trying to put more effort into it, and I think I've been doing better. So yeah, also this is the middle of the day, so if this sounds more expressive, then I'll try to record a lot more during the day than instead of at night, because it's kind of hard to get a quiet time during the day though, so no promises. Anyway, I love you all so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.